Off we go.
Already done, Jordy.
Hey.
Go with it.
Good morning, y'all.
G'day, guys.
Good
Good
day.
morning or good evening. Is
All
it
right.
evening to you?
Good morning, good
Hello.
afternoon, good evening, good day from down under. Jordy.
Yay, Jordy.
Hey.
So I just wanted to say I put on the thumbnail carnivore problem solutions and solutions, or maybe just carnivore problems, because on your Instagram you say carnivore problems all the time. Or like as a tag. So I was curious, what are carnivore problems?
Yeah, look, I will solve all your problems. Just ask me and yeah, send
there
them
you
my
go.
way. No. So I guess I talk a lot about when you first start the carnivore diet and the transition period that you go through, like the struggles. Because I just went through it. Like I'm 150 days into the carnivore diet, so I have a really good understanding of what it's like to start because I'm really fresh. So I do talk about it a lot. So I just talk about the problems.
Nice.
You don't have no problems, don't you?
Well, I have got more solutions than I got more problems. That's for sure.
Well, dead people have no problems. So if you got problems, you're in good company.
That's a good point.
Let's see. Jordinary Life. Why don't you introduce yourself? Oh, good morning, Dr. Nelson and Miss Alia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, all. We got Jordy, Jordinary Life here coming down from Australia.
Yep.
Right on. We have Kiltz Mighty Tribe on. We've got Instagram, Dr. Kiltz on, and we've got YouTube, Facebook. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the tribe around the globe a little bit about yourself and why carnivore.
Yeah, so what a journey it has been. I'm like I said, I'm only 150 days into the carnivore diet. And previously we were on a so-called balanced diet. We cut out all processed food, all seed oils, and we're trying to fix some pretty serious health concerns that I was going through at the time. I was bleeding every time I went to the bathroom, and I had pretty severe eczema on my face. And the balanced diet, I was trying high fiber, and if you would see my plate, it was just full of green, right? That's because that's what we're told to eat, right? It's just full of vegetables. I was even previously vegan before this, so I loved vegetables. I thought they were the best thing that you could possibly eat, and my plate was full of them. And I was just littered with gut issues, digestive problems, like I said, eczema, and I ended up in hospital. I had to get blood transfusions because I was losing so much blood. And the doctors only wanted to really just do surgery, patch me up, or like medicate me, but not actually fix the underlying issue. So my wife and I, we took things into our own hands, and that's where we discovered the carnivore diet. I just thought, well, I'm trying the high fiber thing, and I'm just not getting anywhere. So we went into the carnivore diet, and immediately I knew that this was really, really good for me because I only went to the bathroom twice in the first week. So my digestion was getting a rest. And when I did go, it was really easy and it was low volume, which is really good for me too. So, but what I was doing is I was actually documenting everything that I was going through. So I would be posting online every single day about what this diet was about because I just thought it was interesting that I was doing this crazy diet, and people started to watch and people started to listen. And then I started to really get awesome experiences, but I was also sharing about some of the struggles of starting the carnivore diet. And all of a sudden people are asking me for advice, what you should do. And so it was actually like an express university into the carnivore diet because I had to research and answer people's questions and also find out and talk about this every single day. And that's just what I've been doing for 150 days straight. And now I'm here talking with you guys.
Awesome. I love that.
Were you ever given a specific diagnosis for what was going on?
Yes. So I had hemorrhoids, and also I had a gastritis of the. So that was more of a gut problems as well, and constipation too.
Okay. Never anything like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, or any type of inflammatory
No,
bowel
no
syndrome.
Crohn's, luckily, but I think it almost seemed like I was on that path going down that route. But no Crohn's.
And
What
how
if
long
you,
did it take you to from having all these symptoms, and once you started the carnivore diet, how long did it take you to feel better for you to say, gee, I am feeling better?
So I had immediate energy and brain clarity pretty much the second, third day. I was like, whoa, like my brain just switched on for the first time. It was just incredible.
Yeah. You say third day? That's a common theme for some people, not everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was actually doing this with my wife, and she took a little bit longer to really get that energy. So it's very interesting that we're both doing this together, and we're just contrasting how the carnivore diet has affected us differently. But I knew that this is really good for me because when I would go to the toilet, it wouldn't be painful. It was easy. There was, like I said, like not much volume. And I could have like 2 days, 3 days between sessions. I knew that this was like really, really good for me, better than any sort of high fiber diet, because if you're eating a lot of fiber, you got like a lot of waste to process. So it was the first week, yeah.
are we simply poisoned by plants, and it's just such a simple concept?
Honestly, it seems crazy to say, right? Because we're just so indoctrinated that green is good. But that is the realization that I've come to, is that these plants aren't really the most ideal thing that we should be eating. I think the human body is amazing, right? We can live off it, and we can adapt. I've seen people live off Mars bars and things like that. But I don't think it's optimal.
Right. I mean, if you're starving, you got to eat something.
That's right. That's right. And I think maybe we've confused that with foods that you find on the ground for necessity versus the ones that you actually want to go out and hunt and go out and get because it's worth the effort, because it's better for you. I think that's how I sort of see plants and meats these days.
And where did you find your first inspiration? What is it? You just kind of social media or anything particular?
So back when we were vegan, we did hear about Jordan Peterson's journey, and that just seemed crazy. It seemed like something that really sick people need to do, is that they only eat meat because they're allergic to every other food. That's kind of how I interpreted it, but you couldn't deny his results. So that was probably in the back of my mind. Started seeing it on social media. My brother-in-law actually tried the carnivore diet. He doesn't stick to it, but when he did it, it was the best he ever felt. And that was a common theme that I was hearing. There's anyone that has tried the carnivore diet, they usually say it was the best I had ever felt. And so that's why I was very excited to try it. I was going to do only 30 days. And we'll see. Like, I want to experience these amazing feelings that these carnivores get. And then I think for me, it's different because I'm like, well, why would you only do it temporarily? Like, if you feel so good, why would you want to go back to eating crap? So I just stuck with it because I was like, this is awesome. I feel great.
And tell us a little bit about your wife and how she's doing with carnivore. And is carnivore sustainable for men and women?
So she was a little bit more skeptical than me because she was actually the one that got me into being vegan. When we married, she was previously vegan, so she was vegan for over 10 years.
Oh wow.
And so it was very interesting journey how she went from leaving veganism. She actually, and Dr. Kiltz, you might like this because you're a spiritual person, but she started having dreams about eating eggs and and often like it would repeat, and she would be like ferociously eating eggs. And so we really saw that as maybe her body or a spiritual thing was that she needs to eat eggs. And so we actually introduced them into our diet, and it's been a slow progress from there. Was just eating more and more meat. So we're just following what our body's been telling us. But for Sada, that's my wife's name, is she's it's been like she's been going off and on fruits because I think she was having a hard time wrapping her head around only eating meat, especially when culturally too. She's from Colombia, and fruit is a big part of their culture.
Yeah.
And she loves fruit too. So she would eat fruit, and then she would experience these negative side effects when she would reintroduce fruits. She would start to get dizzy and headaches and these things that she suffered with before the carnivore diet, and they would come back when she would reintroduce them. So after that, she had to make the difficult decision of like, no, I actually feel better strict carnivore. And we say it's a difficult decision because she just loves fruit, but it's an easy decision because she feels better. And so she, struggles with the not having anything sweet on the carnivore diet. But it's been really incredible for her too. It's really helped with her bloating. She's lost some weight, and she used to get really bad migraines, and she no longer gets them too.
I love that.
And maybe this is our problem, is having some sweets from time to time a killer?
Well, look, it's a good question because I think I don't think it will kill you. So the killer is probably the strong word, but my mum has also now been on the carnivore diet. I'm converting all the people around me. It's been really awesome that I get to do it with so many people. And so she actually was suffering some really bad inflammation in her knees. So bad so bad that by the end of the day that she wouldn't be able to walk properly, and she sometimes would need crutches. The inflammation would get so bad. Now on the carnivore diet, pretty sure it was within like a week or two, no more inflammation in her knees, like no more pain. Now she's running and exercising, and so it's been incredible for her. So the reason why I bring that up is because she grew a pineapple in her backyard, all organic, no pesticides or anything like that. And she's been, working hard on this pineapple that she now technically can't eat, but she ate it. I think she had half a slice or something quite small. And wouldn't you know, the inflammation has come straight back. So
is heroin organic?
Yeah, right. If one hit of heroin's okay, right? Like it won't kill you. Yeah, so I do think for me personally, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't really go back. It's not worth it. It's not good for us.
Yeah, I try to imagine us eating pineapple 50,000 years ago.
if there were pineapples,
Yeah.
it's hard to know what is
Well,
a normal
certainly
fruit.
there were some fruits, right? They might not be. None of the things that we see in the supermarket were probably the way they are there nowadays, when you compare to many thousand years ago. But because we've manipulated through breeding techniques and all that. But if there were fruits, they were eaten in season from time to time. I don't doubt it that if there were berries at some point, they will just eat everything on that day or for however many weeks they were available. But that was it. You didn't have tons of fruits available every day, every moment. You felt like eating a pound of grapes. You went and grabbed grapes 24/7, 365 days a year, which,
Well, and think about it. Like we get our fruits and vegetables from farms, large farms, but how many fruit orchards were there? I mean, where are they? There are no large stands. I mean, we can find, conifer forests and all sorts of things, but to find large fruit orchards, they didn't exist,
No.
right? So I think your Dr. Nelson's like giving us like it's simplicity. It just wasn't around very much, was it?
And it brings up a good point. I think about how you can get all the nutrients from animal foods, but it's very difficult to get and you can't actually get all the nutrients from plant-based foods. So how, if it is an optimal way to eating plant-based foods, how could have that been possible of getting all the different fruits in and out of seasons? You would need a mega farm just for one family of all the different fruits and vegetables you would need year round.
Well, so isn't the real problem plants are just poisonous? They contain many of the minerals and vitamins theoretically, but they come with poisons. And so I don't know anyone who's nutrient deficient. Everyone's just poisoned. And so our real diseases, I mean, our bowel disorders are all secondary to fermentation and the gut dysbiosis and the fermentation and steel wool. Fiber is like steel wool, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And so it's plants that kill are ultimately plants don't want to be eaten. And so can you eat plants raw and you'll be healthier than cooked?
Well, in my experience, that is not what that's not what I experienced when I tried to eat raw plants.
Could you eat meat raw and be healthier than cooked?
There are some crazy carnivores out there that are doing that, and they seem to be doing okay. I'm not at that stage yet, but it looks like
raw meat is actually healthier for you than cooked meat. And cooked plants are less poisonous than raw plants.
Wow, there you go.
I mean, did we wait for the cook 50,000 years ago?
No, I guess not.
What is your opinion on ground beef? Maureen Atsali in Kenya, difficulty sourcing fatty meat.
And she asked this question here also.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the question. Came from Kiltz Tribe, and Maureen's on the same. She's on 2 platforms. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I'm a big fan of ground beef. I'll have it every morning. I think it's a great way of getting a high fatty meat. It's cheap as well, so it's good for people on a budget. And though I see the question, it says only ground beef. Look, I think it's possible. The only objection I would have is the fact that it might get a bit boring and mundane. But if you really love ground beef, you can do that for 30 days. Then I don't know. It seems like a good idea.
Well, when people say boring and mundane, I always ask them if they're married.
What's that?
Well, because you can't have variety. And so boring and mundane, 99% of all organisms consume is boring and mundane.
In that case, variety can get you killed.
Very easily.
Yes, deadly. It's a deadly.
I'm married to a South American, so there's nothing
You would
boring
die
and
fast.
mundane about that.
Nothing at all. The spice is in the life. Absolutely.
Jordan, we need to talk afterwards and compare notes.
So here's a comment. So ground beef, even leaner versions, because I think one of the problems is people overcook their meat and they lose the fat.
Yeah.
So they're ultimately eating lean meat. And that's why the raw rare is better to eat than the cooked. And if you look at the book by Pottinger called Pottinger's Cats, he showed that cooked meat and pasteurized milk was unhealthy for the cats, where raw was the best for the cats. And I kind of equate us to like a cat.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up, because we've got 2 cats and we transitioned them from the kibble food, the dry food, to the raw kangaroo they actually eat, and they thrive. And the same symptoms that I had, so less waste, so they don't go to the bathroom as much, it doesn't smell, and also their coat, their fur is just so much better too. So it's interesting you bring that up. They eat only raw. Does that, Dr. Kiltz, does that mean you only eat raw, or is it a sometimes thing?
No. I mostly eat very rare black and blue to raw is my go-to. But I think overcooked meat is not good for us. You lose all the fat. You denature the molecular structures, and you create advanced glycation end products. So that's why the least cooked, the raw, is probably the best to rare to black and blue. So am I an always? I'm a sometimes. But that's my favorite is like black and blue, like it's mooing on the inside. That's kind of my very best.
Eve has a question about your eczema. How long before your eczema went?
Yeah. So eczema was really the catalyst for me jumping on the carnivore diet, because I was using topical steroid creams the doctor actually gave me and didn't tell me about the side effects and the withdrawal symptoms that you become dependent on them and can actually make your skin worse. So here I was using these creams that I thought were all good that would get rid of it temporarily. And then when I realized that there's like really scary withdrawal symptoms, I just jumped on the carnivore diet. And then within 30 days, I saw that it wouldn't get worse. So, which is a big deal for me, that my skin wasn't getting flaky and dry and painful like it usually does. And then it was like the 60-day mark that I really started to see the eczema actually disappearing. And then like 90 days is when you couldn't really even see that I had eczema anymore.
Wow.
What causes eczema?
Oh, please tell me. I actually don't really know. I react to some things, but
no. It's simple. Exposure to plants.
Right.
That's it. I mean, what is poison ivy?
Yeah, well, I guess the fact that I cut out all plants and the eczema goes away is probably a good sign that you're right. The eczema is caused from plants.
Really, again, this is complicated. Do we need another scientific experiment to explain all of this? And a journal, what is it? A peer-reviewed journal, Dr. Nelson?
Yeah. If I don't have that, I won't believe it, right?
Right. That's how we're trained. We are trained not to believe your story, Jordy. We're trained that, I'm sorry, we have to wait. This has not been studied long enough. I mean, do we have long enough studies on carnivore?
Now we do. Go to Dave Mack's 1,000 independent studies on his channel.
Do we need another study on carnivore? Do we need any scientific studies on this? Zero. No.
Yeah, it's and this is what's crazy, is that this is the most natural whole food way of eating. Like, this is how we've eaten for a long period of time. I'm obviously online and have exposure to a lot of people, so people will ask, "Oh, have you got your blood test and this?" and they want me to prove, but the metrics, some sort of scientific study. But what they don't realize is I just feel so incredible. This is the best I've ever felt in my entire life. I don't need some sort of scientist to tell me what I already feel.
And this is part of have we improved our health in the last 100 years since science has kind of taken over our directions?
Well, obviously not. I mean, you could use science in quotation marks, because I think if it was true science, then we would probably not be as scared as carnivore diet as we are.
Mm-hmm.
Seventh-day Adventist Church, Edith White and John Kellogg went on a mission to control the masses with a plant-based, low animal fat diet and stop masturbation.
Wow.
Does it work?
Well, let's not go there.
Yeah, it's making us sicker than ever. And what's it like for healthcare costs in Australia?
Well, look, we have a public system like Medicare, and unfortunately, it is good if you're in emergency as a rush, but if you need like elective surgery, you've got massive waiting lines, and it's not as great, I think, as it could be. And so there's a lot of pressure, I think, on the public system at the moment, and there's just not enough doctors and things to keep up with it.
But maybe you can help us on this. Is healthcare system a healthcare system or a healthcare system? What are your thoughts? I mean, we have coverage, but what's the message, and what are they covering us with, and how are they helping us be healthy? So is it really just slavery? Enslavement, I should say?
Well, that's a really interesting way to put it. It's just it was not. Look, on one hand, the doctors and everything saved my life when I was running low in blood, right? And they were incredible, and I got a blood transfusion, and the miracle of the healthcare system. So on one hand, it's awesome and it works well. But on the other hand, it doesn't prevent me from getting there in the first place. And so whether that's tied to a profiteering system that profits off people getting sick, that's one side of the story. But also whether doctors aren't, I don't know if it's a training issue or what, but then don't seem to be interested in getting to the root cause and helping you to avoid the hospital and avoid taking medication. But they almost just want to give you some sort of medication. I don't know whether it's just so they see you later, like so the next patient, or what it is, but it seems pretty broken.
In regards to the way of eating, definitely, I'd say the proof is in the pudding, right? Whether you have studies or not, if I made changes to my diet and I have reversed diabetes, hypertension, eczema, gastric reflux, and about 10 other things, and trust me, I've argued this on both sides of the fence, right? Both sides of the fence. And in a past life, I would have defend the other side, you know, and there is no contest. Personally, this is the way to eat.
It's interesting you say that, Dr. Nelson, because I think we've all been on the other side, and we've probably all looked at the carnivore diet as a crazy diet that doesn't seem healthy, right? We've all been there.
It is. Okay.
Well, the problem is but that propaganda, healthy diet. If I ask a patient what do they eat, they say healthy, organic, clean.
Yeah.
Are those like true evolutionary diets, or is that a modernistic manufacturing of basically marketing?
And basically, when we go back just 100 years back and before that, we definitely didn't eat the things that we have available today, and the exponential growth of ultra processed foods and what's available in the supermarkets and all around us, it's incredible. And yes, the marketing is the exposure. I'm hungry. There's a McDonald's. I'll go and grab something. That has changed our thinking and clouded our thinking, but then we depend on those foods that are, well, they're not that bad.
Jody leaked some years back. There were some deaths from some hamburger that was undercooked, feces in the meat. So I guess the question is, can you wash the feces off the plants? You can't. Sorry. There's more contamination and recall of plant products than animal products. Plus,
yeah, most restaurants, especially fast food restaurants, are infamous for this. Whenever there's a recall, right? It's usually from the vegetables that were contaminated. So the problem exists. Doesn't matter whether, those are moot points if you're arguing that there might be some contaminants in the meat when it happens 20 times or 100 times more frequently with the vegetables. That's
right. And isn't the problem you're not knowing where your food comes from and you're not preparing it yourself? You're relying on someone else to mass produce it and produce it for you and plate it for you, when in fact you don't know where their hands have been.
Also.
And so in reality, maybe you could tell us a little about your source of meat and how you prepare it to get it home and cook it. Jordy?
Yeah, so we go to our local markets to get our meat, and also we have some meat delivered as well, which is grass finished. It is in ideal circumstances, I would love all my meat to be grass finished. Sometimes it's not. I don't live an optimal lifestyle like that yet. That is the goal.
What air are you breathing?
Pure oxygen.
Right, with pollutants and contaminants
Yes.
of cars, the industry. So
Pure, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, and that's it. And so I think it's great, and it's great if you can get meat from regenerative farming as well. And I think the more people that are aware of this, and if you have the ability to, then go for it. But also, I wouldn't say that you should not do the carnivore diet if you can't get access to that sort of meat.
I prefer grain finished personally. That's the fattier cuts, and that's what I love to eat. But I get it from where they grain finish them on the grass.
Right.
So they're not put in these pens and fed. They're just added a little bit of grains at the end. And I imagine, depending on the time of year when the seeds were set on the grass, where the cows eating the grass and the seeds.
I think like it's interesting aspect of the carnivore diet is that you can actually go for the cheaper cuts of meat. I think that's really cool. That's the actual meat that you want, the meat that everyone else seems to be turning away. So you want to get the mince with the highest fat count. You want to get the fatty cuts of meat. It's just pretty cool because you get it cheaper, which is
well. In fact, does your body want fat or want lean?
Well, your body definitely wants to be running off fat. That's for sure.
Well, that's all we run off. We don't run off anything else but fat.
Right.
We don't burn sugar. We don't burn amino acids. They must be made into fat in the liver via insulin or you die. If you eat the fat, it doesn't require the liver or insulin. And so your body wants fat, but we have been taught not to eat fat. So I'm not convinced. Our argument against industrial meat or grain finished meat is harmful for us. We haven't proven that. We really have not proven that, because carnivore, show me the difference. I don't know. I just haven't seen it. We talk about it. And in fact, eat meat, eat fatty meat. Although Candy Primal Candy.
Primal Bot.
Yes, thank you. She kind of pushes and talks a lot more about the meats we ate. Probably were leaner meats in our hunting, but we also focused a lot on the fat, and so I don't know. That's in our modern world. We still, because we're trying to be skinny. Does being fat cause disease?
Not on its own.
Right. Not on its own. That's a good one. Yeah, doesn't. Nope. Are there questions?
There's a couple.
Yeah.
Stephanie, boy, Jordan, did your cats take to raw food transition right away?
No, so you do have to transition them a little bit. So you mix in the dry food with the raw food, and then just slowly less and less dry food until they're comfortable in the raw food. Now it's their favorite, and they love it. Awesome. I'm glad we can help the cats while we're here.
Let's help our little friends.
Actually, I have a question for you, Dr. Kiltz. We the reason why we've kind of started this journey, my wife and I, on cutting all processed food, now carnivore diet, is we want to one day have a baby, and we want to be as healthy as possible. Where this is going to be like a couple of years down the track. So what would you say of like preparing yourself for that season of life?
You're already prepared.
Oh, great.
You're born prepared. What
I wanted to hear.
In essence, as I always tell people, don't wait, because no animal says, let's wait a couple of years. Nope, that ain't happening. You're going to wait. You got to wait for what? What?
Just do it.
Just
do
it.
My parents. You sound like my parents.
There's nothing more valuable than today to have children and build a family. And I can just tell you from experience, from the kid who has one child. And I would tell you that now is always the time, and this is the best lifestyle you could live, to be the least damaged in general. But we're waiting for perfect and right. It's already there. That's my 2 cents.
Your kids are going to make you prepared for everything you haven't expected. Don't wait, just do it now. Earlier is easier for the female body. Earlier is easier on the female body also.
And what's the best time that nature created for human reproduction?
Apparently 14 through 16.
13, 14, 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Like physically with the body.
That's correct. Why do we have secondary sexual characteristics? Why do teenagers want to have sex? Because this is all we're built for. We're not built to be podcasters, influencers, doctors, whatever it is. We're built for making babies. And I think that's what we need to get back to, is our foundation of faith and family. And kind of that's sort of my directive in helping people that have been suffering. And carnivore is like, I always say, Christ and carnivore are the foundations of conception.
Well, there you go. It's interesting. You know the story of Cain and Abel, how God rejected the wheat and accepted the animal products.
It's our really the Bible is the real scientific journal.
Mhm.
If you want the truth of human evolution, it's the Bible, not Scientific America, which is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Grain, yeah. Let's see. We got more. Healthy diet is low fat and 90% plant and processed. We should do a game show. Let's do a game show, right?
I'll figure out how to get some sound.
Yes. Yeah, be good. You know, the plants versus the predators. Oh wait, plants are the predators.
Plants are the predators.
Yeah. How many corn stalks and fruit trees did he put in the ark?
Yeah, none.
Euro.
None of
He
the
only
plants.
put the grass for the animals to eat, right?
That's a good point.
I mean, that's the human evolutionary story. Anyone that says differently, I think, you know, it really is. We've been duped by the Pope, priest, president, pharaohs, professors, in order to come to the let's see, the parish, where we're told a story that we often perish from. If you look at many of the religions, their message was agrarian, control, and civilized. But ultimately, I think the real leaders know that eating meat is the master meal for the masses. Personally, I think that's what Jesus Christ came to teach us. You don't have to go there for God.
Whoa.
He's within.
Oh,
God's within us.
that's interesting.
We can't. Oh, wait a minute. We can't talk about religion.
Are we not really supposed to? We should be able to talk about anything we want.
We can talk about anything we want. I just had a great interview with Tammy Peterson. We talked about God. We talked about food. We talked about family. So that's coming pretty soon. I'm really excited.
Love that. I'm excited about that one. Gian, why is beef recommended more than pork in the carnivore diet? If that's the case. Anyone can take a stab at this one.
I believe that the ruminant meats are better. I mean, we could argue back and forth among that. You can eat whatever you want, but it seems that you do better, and that's why some people end up restricting all the way down to just ruminant meats on the lion diet style of eating. Now, chicken is not chicken, pork. You know, these are not ruminants. Fish is not ruminant. So there are other things that you could eat, but because of the way they digest the food, they seem to be a better thing for us.
There you go. Let's see. Another question. Bill Cook, how much fat should I consume? Say put in form of stick of butter or sticks of butter. How much fat? I guess equivalent to a stick of butter.
Can you live on raw animal fat alone?
No.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because remember, adipose tissue contains every mineral, vitamin, and building block of your body. And if you look at bears that hibernate, they lose no muscle mass, no bone mass, and yet the babies grow because they provide them with what? Adipose tissue. And so ultimately, raw butter is better, but raw fat from ruminants is the best. I think the organ meats are good. Are they required? I don't know that. But according to FJ Schlink and Meat 3 times a day, my good friend Kerry Mann gifted this to me, and then someone gifted a copy to him. Which is
wow.
The organ meats are more nutritionally dense in many things. So if you want to eat organ meats, you eat them. Many people don't necessarily make an effort to include them. I don't think they're making an effort to exclude them. Uh, if you want them, you can. It's hard to eat liver sometimes if you're not used to that taste.
But ultimately, yeah. I mean, again, the lean meat diet is what Dr. Nelson, maybe you comment on a lean meat diet, protein, or again, lean meat diet. Is that good for us if for long periods of time?
Look, probably not. Probably not. You can do that for a certain amount of time, and if you don't develop any symptoms, that could be a way, like you many times say, for weight loss. Sometimes you can decrease the amount of energy you're putting in your body. The fat is the most concentrated, but many people talk about this. Prioritize the protein, okay, and don't fear the fat. If it comes with the fat, comes with it. Some people sometimes they make an effort to increase the fats, and they're having a stick or two of butter a day. Within certain circumstances, that might be adequate. For most of the time, you can get plenty of fat from the meats. The problem is when you go to supermarket and you're getting a piece of a New York strip, which usually would have a fat cap. They trim the whole thing. You cannot even identify the piece of the cut of meat because they have trimmed all the fat away.
I want to just ask this question, but first, everyone needs to put hashtag Jordan into the chat to win a Kiltz Mighty Tribe merch. Probably a cap, a baseball cap. Here, I'll show it.
Can I put my name in there?
You can. Here we go. There you go. You can win this today. Hashtag Jordan in the tribe in the comments. Okay, so but I'm going to answer this question for Edmund. Has anyone heard of 30-30-30 rule? 30 grams of protein, 30 minutes after walking, followed by 30 minutes of moderate cardio. Dude, that is so complicated. Just don't. That's my answer.
Jordan, how many meals a day do you eat in general, and do you fast?
It's a great question. It's actually something I wanted to ask you about as well, because I've been seeing a lot about the fasting. I eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I'm also training in the morning fasted, so I don't eat until after I train. But I would like to know whether it is worth incorporating fasting. I do like eating, and I don't like to be hungry. But it is something I wanted to talk about.
Are you trying? How do you feel right now? Do you have any health issues you're trying to improve or resolve still?
I'm not really particularly. I do want to increase strength and performance at the gym, and I would like to continue stripping off fat, and become a little bit leaner. That's probably my goals at the moment.
Why?
For superficial reasons, so I can have 6-pack abs.
It's called reproduction.
There you go.
We only are driven by reproduction. That is all our real drive is. But
I want to reproduce.
We want to reproduce. We're a little egotistical, all of us, right? But if there's a famine or you need to go hunting for a month and you can't find food, is it better to be lean and skinny or carry some extra fat?
Definitely want to carry some extra fat for the journey.
Is the fat on our body the true fuel for our body, or is the food in the stomach the fuel for the body?
Well, I would say the food in the stomach. But that's wrong.
It's wrong. Because a type 1 diabetic has got food in the stomach and it's got fat all over their body, and then they keep eating, but they keep losing weight. Why? Because the cells only burn fat.
Right.
A liver failure patient also has the same problem. They can't make fat, but ultimately we're consuming in general more calories than we burn. That's just the standard nature of our existence. right? Because your brain is more worried about no food than it's worried about too much food, right? And so the food in your stomach, what do most people eat? Fruits and vegetables, seeds and nuts, plants, and lean meat. Well, so everyone thinks your cells burn sugar, right? That's a common thought, right? And but a liver failure patient has insulin and high sugars, but they get skinny because they can't make fat. And so your body burns only fat for energy, which is kind of crazy because we're taught that sugar is your fuel. That's why we're addicted to sugar. But we're addicted to sugar because when are sweet things most abundant? In the winter or the summer?
The summer.
Summer, right?
So what do you want to get prepared for in the summer?
Winter.
Right. So sweet things are highly desirable because they weren't available in the winter, only in the summer. And if you're not fat for the winter, you're fertilizer.
So you're saying, so your body uses the fat stores on your body for fuel. Well, I always just thought it just kind of sat there stagnant, like it's not being used. That's why it's excess and it's on the body.
Well, that's what you've been taught. Same propaganda.
Yeah.
Okay. So same propaganda. But why would fat be just sitting there doing nothing?
So there's a problem, I guess.
There's no problem.
There's something wrong with you if you've got that.
No, because isn't the problem you're overeating in general?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, 3 meals a day. How many people ate 3 meals a day 50,000 years ago?
I doubt it would have been very common.
Yeah, very uncommon. So is getting obese a pathologic condition? Or is it physiologic? Your body wants it bad. And so you can't stop because it's not an addiction. It's physiologic. So where do you live in Australia?
In Melbourne, in Bottom, in Victoria.
There's no stores, no markets, no ranches, no farmers. Go find food.
Yeah, you got to go hunting, get some deer.
All right, go find it with everyone else trying to find it.
That's right.
Okay. So remember, we've been told a lie. The food in your belly must be converted to fat or you die. And it's converted to fat via insulin in the liver because glucose is not directly your energy ever. But until we hear it enough and we understand it. So have you lost weight on carnivore?
Yeah, I've lost like 7 kilos.
And did you exercise at all during that process?
Yes. But same exercise I was doing before carnivore.
Right. So are you eating less carbohydrates, which again are the most readily converted to fat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are proteins converted to fat?
I don't know. Stretching to my limits of knowledge here.
Of course they are. Because can a carnivore diet increase your weight?
Absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, what if you only eat, most people eat lean meat. And did you get fat on lean meat?
There you go. So I didn't realize a protein could be stored or turned into fat. It
can be turned into sugar as well.
Well, it turns amino acids convert to sugars, and in the liver they convert to fat. Because, again, do you notice your muscles get bigger by just eating protein?
No.
You must do resistance work, right?
Yeah.
and a lot of people take testosterone. But again, it's really interesting. We make it so complicated. It is not.
Now, thousands of years ago, we didn't have gyms, right? But you had to go and hunt for your food. You had to move things by hand. You work a lot more active doing what everyday life things needed to be done and lifted heavy things. So you were a lot more active back then. Nowadays, we have such a sedentary life that we have to incorporate or substitute the activity with doing training exercises.
You had to fight for your food. You think you're the only one hunting that big mammoth? And we are fighters. We live a sedentary observational life of what's on TV or what's on the tube, right? And that's really, fat is the most important thing on your body. And why do ketones go up so high when you're getting close to starvation? Because the last area of fat storage is the liver. And your liver is going to release as much of it as it can to keep you from dying. And ketones are simply a product of fat breakdown in order to ship it around the body so you can move. Because ultimately, just laying around isn't what you want to do, right?
Right.
True. Wow.
We only got a few minutes left here, so I wanted to do the
Can you get this hat on Kiltz Health?
Very soon. Nate is working on that right now. Very soon you can get this.
How about our YouTube channel?
Very soon. Very soon.
All right. We're going to
very
promise
soon.
by April 1st, we're going to have all this rocking and rolling. I got me, Alia, and Dr. Nelson, and a great team. But you can go to drkiltz.com, and we have our organ meat supplements, we have hats, we have T-shirts, and Kiltz Mighty Tribe. How much does it cost to be a member of Kiltz Mighty Tribe, Dr. Nelson?
It's absolutely free. No cost at all. Go to drkiltz.com, sign up for free. Good things are coming.
Good things are coming very, very soon. More good things are coming. Great things are already there. All right, here we go. Who's going to win the giveaway today? Not me, Kiltz, or Dr. Nelson.
Yeah, right. They got to toss us out.
I figured out how to do that if we end up in here. DJ Magic Man, email me at alia@drkiltz.com to win your giveaway. alia@drkiltz.com spelled out. I will put it in the chat. Yay.
Congratulations,
All
DJ.
Right. Jordy, where do people find you? Get a chance to follow you and share?
Yeah, so I'm everywhere at Jordinary Life. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of the above.
Nice.
All right.
Follow.
When is our next meetup?
Our next meetup is the 13th of April in Yuma, Tennessee.
Yuma, Tennessee. Awesome. And Dr. Barry's going to be there. Got a lot of people being there. Melbourne, Australia. You going to be there?
You're coming, right? You're coming.
Yeah.
Are you all coming, or is it just you, Dr.
No,
Kiltz?
just Dr. Kiltz.
Kiltzy.
Yeah, we'll have to catch up.
I'm on day 2 of a 5-day fast. Fasting is the most amazing thing you can do. Food freedom. It's not required, but oh my God. Crazy. All right.
Okay, goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Bye, everyone.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.